Hi, my name is Tony DiGiovanni. I'm the Executive Director of Plantscape Ontario Horticultural Trades Association. 16 years ago, Plantscape Ontario and the Garden Club of Toronto had a dream. We wanted to create a flower and garden show that would be on an international scale. And 16 years later, I think we've done that. We have become the largest flower and garden show in Canada and number 2 in North America. It is my pleasure today to show you the wonderful feature gardens created by members of Plantscape Ontario.
Welcome to our garden at Canada Blooms, entitled Dinner Party. This garden was designed by Mark Kimmerly from our firm. This is a wonderful garden to cook, dine, entertain, and relax. Our garden includes flowers, water feature, and romantic lighting.
We're interested in environmental design and sustainable design and reusing and repurposing materials, which Rita, the designer, has done masterfully in this garden here. We're so excited to see all of this reclaimed stuff turn into a beautiful garden oasis.
Combining art and nature, you know, it has our stamp on it, but it's also something I think anyone would appreciate.
Yeah. Rita asked me to do some original artwork for the garden to sort of incorporate that into the experience of this garden.
We've created a garden for Canada Blooms representing the theme of urban culture. We've tried to do that using concrete and structural elements like shoring and stone and wood, and we've got a graffiti wall in there. We've got a deck and pergola wrapped up in this oval vortex, we call it. We had a lot of fun with it this year.
So we have a company that's dedicated to connecting kids to nature when and where they play, and we built this crazy thing so that Parks Canada, Canadian Wildlife Federation could tell the story of how they're trying to connect kids in urban centers to nature. Our playgrounds are designed with all of the bits and pieces that you find in our national parks in mind.
All right, thank you. I know. What do you think my mom's gonna say?
We're pleased to present our palette garden plug and play for this year's Canada Blooms. We've used palettes here at the Canada Blooms show as a design exercise to show how we could take something that's often found everywhere and globally and make it look really good. We hope you enjoy yourself.
Some of the considerations that were taken into account when designing the garden were, number one, that we wanted to showcase the plants. The plant material was put in large planters and they were raised up to eye level so that you could really appreciate the nature of these new annuals for 2012. It was very important for me to consider the nature of the magazine when I was creating the design for the garden. The fact that the magazine is informative, it's very graphic and beautiful.
This is the first international garden at Canada Blooms It is a garden that's been designed for the city of Taipei, Taiwan. There are in fact 800 orchids in this garden. The garden has a contemporary twist to it. It isn't what I would call a traditional Taiwanese garden, but it is my interpretation in a contemporary way.
This is our installation for Canada Blooms. It's called Concrete Blooms Burst. We were inspired by the theme of city culture, and what we decided to do was to show that through the use of plants bursting forth from rubble. And we wanted to show the beauty of, even in a rubble pile, you can find plants bursting out and discover new and interesting things coming out of the concrete.
We're trying to represent a natural environment that can be achieved in an urban backyard. We feel that having a water feature in your backyard is very important, because after a hectic day at work, you can come home, watch the fish, listen to the sound of the water, and truly unwind and relax.
This was created out of my love for nature, architecture, and food. This was my first installation at Canada Blooms. It was a labor of love and passion, and I hope you enjoy it.
We have created a courtyard space nestled amongst buildings, a building structure, something reminiscent of a city garden in the city of Toronto. And we've got our cozy courtyard in the center, sheltering you from the noise and the hustle and bustle of the city, rounded out with some beautiful landscape lighting.
Our garden is a combination of traditional elements, modern elements, and putting all these parts together, we can represent what the city of Toronto is like today.
We've designed this garden for Canadian Cancer Society. As the visitor can come in, we have a water feature at the front. The fire represents strength, and the daffodils in the garden represent strength and resilience.
We designed this booth keeping in mind the hardscapes, lots of different color, and a nice flow through, including the gabions as a backdrop, and the water feature, as well as the urn that was made. That's Dry Stone Lake. It was a great collaborated effort by all the members of Landscape Ontario, and it turned out really well.
We're so pleased to be able to offer our LED lighting to Landscape Ontario's feature garden this year, and we chose sparkling neutral white LEDs to bring out the perfect color of the garden and add subtle drama.
We've actually tried to display two aspects of living walls. One here to my right, interior material, ideal tropicals, ideal for indoor situations. Along this side, exterior plant materials, combination of ivies and flowering material. We're excited about them because we think these are the kinds of ideas that lead to a much more interesting urban landscape.
Thank you for visiting Canada Blooms with me today. I hope you've been inspired by what you see. Our members of Landscape Ontario love bringing this to you. They love to showcase their passion. I'd like to personally invite you to come down to Canada Blooms every year and come celebrate spring just before spring.